Namaskar and adab to all my friends from Irfan. There is a Urdu couplet by the very famous Urdu poet by the name of Iqbal, and the couplet goes like this: रोशनी बांट ली उभरे हुए मीनारों ने, रोशनी बांट ली उभरे हुए मीनारों ने, पस्त जर्रों के मुकद्दर में वही रात रही. Which means that the light of knowledge, the light of resources has been distributed amongst those who live in ivory towers, meaning those who are lucky and who have access to those resources or the sources of knowledge. They have distributed the knowledge among themselves, and past zarron ke muqaddar mein wahi raat rahi. The darkness of not being in the light or not having the light or not having the knowledge is the luck of those who don't have access to those resources. So I consider those people who have access to the knowledge of astrology and the science of astrology to be very, very lucky. And at least things are changing now, times are changing now. Otherwise, till about 15 to 20 years back, very few people had access to this richness, to this knowledge and to this light. And I, being a practicing Muslim, you know by my name Irfan, was very lucky that when I was a kid, when I was 13, 14 years of age, the environment in my house and in my neighborhood was such that I got access to this knowledge. And being very analytical and not being from the religion actually helped me to look at astrology or astrological science and the knowledge very, very analytically, in fact very critically. And when I would not be satisfied with anything, I would go more in depth. I would try to get to the roots. And there, me being born in the Mula Nakshatra, Mula also means roots, helped me get into the depths of astrology and to learn from it. And that is also the fate, the luck, the destiny. So I am living my destiny by moving to astrology, and I will tell you my story. And my story is connected to the topic of today, which is the Bhrigu Bindu, or as it is generally called, the destiny point as well. So while I grew up, I moved towards management, did my MBA, and then joined companies such as IBM and then Bank of America, Tata's and so forth, and became a management consultant. Even today I am a management consultant, and I travel a lot and I do my management consulting programs, projects and so forth. But it is said that you don't find astrology, astrology finds you. Same thing happened with me. When I was very young, astrology found me and never let go of me. So while at work I was a very private person. I would not tell anybody that I was doing astrology because I didn't want to be a baba at work. But in my private circles, whoever who knew me, and friends of friends and family and extended family of family, they all knew that I was into astrology and I was into numerology, palmistry and so forth. So they would always reach out to me and I couldn't say no. So the various examples, the various case studies brought me to a lot of learning, and through learning, through friends in the same circle and through resources and through access and study of all those ancient texts like Parashar or Horashastra or Jataka Chandrika or Faradipika or Brihat Samhita or Ravan Samhita. I can name at least 60, 70, 80, 100 books that I read in depth, understood them, and घोल के पी जाना जो बोलते हैं हिंदी में, I've almost dissolved all of the knowledge and taken inside me. So that access to knowledge has helped me, and many times even in my readings or in my videos I always bring up the ancient shlokas because that is the source of my knowledge, rather than just talking or getting access to somebody and just talking it out. So how does the Bhrigu Bindu relate to me? Now firstly let's understand what the Bhrigu Bindu is. The Bhrigu Bindu or the destiny point is the point between the Rahu and the moon placements in your horoscopes. So you start from Rahu and move towards moon. So wherever moon is sitting, the degrees or difference between Rahu and moon, the midpoint of that is your Bhrigu Bindu. So if Rahu is sitting in your first house and moon is sitting in your fourth house, then the Bhrigu Bindu is somewhere between the... So between the first and the fourth house would be either in the second house or the third house. So you see the difference in degrees between Rahu and Moon and divide that by 2 and see where that point lies, and that is your Bhrigu Bindu. Now for me, I am a Cancer ascendant. So Cancer ascendant means the lord of my Lagna is Moon. Now my Moon is placed in the 6th house. The 6th house is also known as or called the Bhrigu Bhav. And 6th house is a very important house in the horoscope, not just because it is a Dusthana, but also because it is the house of service, and it is also a Artha Bhav. And because it is also Artha Bhav, the house of service. And another very important point, the 6th house is 9th to the 10th house. So if 9th is the most auspicious house, the 9th house is the most auspicious house, and the house of fate and luck and religion and spirituality in the horoscope, the 6th house is the 9th to the 10th. So the gains of the 10th house, or the luck or fate of the 10th house, which is the Kama Bhav, is your 6th house, or the Artha Bhav. So service, gains of career, plus it is also a Artha Bhav, which means you also gains out of it. So 9th house of 9th to the 10th house of gains, that is anywhere it is. It is also the Artha Bhav, which is also material gains, positions, and the 6th house of service. So it means you gain through service, you gain through being, it is the fate of the 10th house as well. So the 6th house is the most important house because it is the house of service. The Brihat Samhita says, Anya Janmantar Krit Karmupusa Shubha Shubham Yatasya Shakunapaka Nivedyatik Chatam, which means that during a man's journey, an omen reveals the fruition of his deeds, good or bad, done in a previous birth. So an omen will be given to a person not only about his previous karma and whether good and bad deeds of fruition have come out of it, but also about what is expected of him in his life. And the sage Bhrigu clears that through this particular shloka, where he says that wherever the 6th lord in a natal chart sits, or the planets in the 6th house indicate the pending karma of this life that must be crossed to go to the next cycle of birth. This is the block that must be cleared and wiped out in this life. This is the thing that will always stop your progress and haunt you in this life. So the 6th house and the 6th lord become very important in ensuring that you wipe out the karma of this life and the previous before you move on into the next. So my Lagna Lord, the Moon, is placed in which is Cancer. So the Lagna Lord Moon is placed in the 6th house. But what sign it sits in? It sits in Sagittarius, another very spiritual bhav, a spiritual sign. And so what is important is, okay, the Bhrigu Bindu, my Lagna Lord is in the 6th house, and the 6th house Lord is Jupiter, which sits in my 4th house. But where is my Bhrigu Bindu? My Rahu is in my 8th house and my Moon is in the 6th house. So opposite ends. So if you see the distance from the 8th and count, so from the 8th you count the 9th house, the 10th house, the 11th house, the 12th house, the 1st, the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, and then you reach the 6th house. So you don't count from Moon to the 8th, to Rahu, which is 6 to the 8th. You count from Rahu to the Moon. So you have to traverse almost 9 houses before you reach my Moon. So from Rahu to the Moon, if you calculate the distance and then find the midpoint, my midpoint of my Bhrigu Bindu is in my Lagna, in the ascendant itself, which is Cancer sign. So my Bhrigu Bindu is connected to my Lagna. So which means my destiny is, my whole life will be what I will be involved in with my destiny as well, which is a lucky thing for me. Many people feel that Bhrigu Bindu is just that one thing you do or one destiny thing that you will be you have come into this world for. I don't believe in that. I believe that Bhrigu Bindu keeps getting connected to your life goal, your purpose of life throughout your life. If you are not doing whatever it is, whatever you are expected to do, it will get at least one thing out of you. So if you are expected to make schools, it will force you to make at least one school. But if you can make it a larger goal, a purpose of your life, you may leave behind a legacy of 100, 200, 500 schools, and you may be connected to learning to a large point. So my Bhrigu Bindu being in the Lagna, my whole life has been dedicated to or moved towards knowledge and learning and sharing. And what is my Lagna? Cancer, which is caring, nurturing others, taking care of others, serving others. And my Lagna Lord is sitting in the 6th house. So my Bhrigu Bindu is very strongly connected to my Lagna Lord, and my Lagna Lord is also sitting in the 6th house in Sagittarius. So my destiny point is connected to my Lagna Lord, and my Lagna Lord is connected to the 6th house of service, which also makes me connected to my career, because it is the 9th to the 10th, so which also gives me fate and luck if I do service connected to my Bhrigu Bindu. Now where is my 6th Lord, where my Lagna Lord is sitting? The 6th Lord is Jupiter, being Sagittarius sign, and it sits in the 4th house of Libra. Libra is the sign of relations. So which means forming relations, forming connections, and through connection, through relations, serving people through the 6th house service and connected to Jupiter, through learning, through wisdom, through counseling. Jupiter is also counseling. So being a guru and becoming a counselor through relationships, through connections to people in the matters of 4th house. What is the 4th house? Your happiness, your mental peace, your material gains. So all that is your 4th house is denoted by these aspects: mental peace, happiness, and also your material gains, houses, vehicles, and so forth. But what is important is your 4th house is also your moksha bhav, and also helping you to achieve moksha. Now why are 4th house, the 8th house and the 12th house, the 3 houses moksha bhavs? Moksha is to leave and let go. Now when you die from this world, how do you die? You die only in 3 ways generally. 99.99% of the people will die this way. Either you die at home in your sleep or sitting, and suddenly something happens, you die. Or you rush to the hospital and there you die. So if you die at home, 4th house. If you are taken to the hospital and you die in the hospital, the 12th house. So 4th house and 12th house automatically become moksha house. Or you may die in a sudden untoward incident, in an accident. And which house signifies the accidents and sudden events? The 8th house. So you may die in an accident outside somewhere. So that's why the 4th house, the 8th house and the 12th house are the moksha bhavs also. So my Bhrigu Bindu getting connected to my 6th house of service, whose Lord sitting in the 4th house, means I also help people in moksha or correcting their moksha, or directing them towards their moksha, or towards what will help them get to their moksha, towards their destiny, towards their purpose of life. Now you will find wherever your Bhrigu Bindu is, it will be absolutely connected to Rahu and indirectly connected to Ketu. And if that doesn't happen, then there is a problem. Why? Because Rahu denotes what you have come into this world to do for, what you have come into this world to focus on. Ketu denotes all that you have already done in your previous life. So in this life you have to do that for not for yourself but for others. So if Ketu is sitting in your 2nd house, that means your earnings, whatever money or savings, will not be for you. It will be for family, because Ketu is sitting in the 2nd house for family or family. So you may do it for your wife, you may do it for children, you may do it for anybody else, but you will not do it for yourself. And I found that I do that. For example, if I had to buy clothes, I would not buy some very expensive clothes for myself, but I would buy the best for my wife out of my earning, or best for my kids. That's how my life has been, very frugal, but I want the best for my family. So all my earning and my earnings and savings were not for me, because Ketu sits in my 2nd house, but it has been for my family. Because my Rahu sits in the 8th house, it sits in Aquarius. Now, Aquarius is also using the learning and delving deep down into the matters of the 8th house, which is secrets, astrology, knowledge, hidden knowledge, and focus there. So my focus in life to a large extent has been to delve and take out knowledge, whether it is through management or through astrology. And Aquarius, which denotes the larger society, outside people, the world at large organization. So I worked in large organizations and served my destiny through that. And by Rahu being in the 8th house of extracting knowledge and learning that knowledge and bringing it out in like a guru and helping people. So my Rahu sitting in my 8th house also aspects my Guru through its 9th aspect, and Guru or Jupiter sitting in the 4th house aspects my Rahu, which sits in the 8th house. So you see how beautifully my Rahu is connected to my Jupiter, which is connected to my Lagna Lord Moon, which is connected to my Lagna, and Lagna has my destiny point. So you will always find wherever Bhrigu Bindu is, it will be connected, it's some way or the other to Rahu in your horoscope, and there will be some or the other connection to Jupiter and to Saturn. Why Saturn? Because Saturn is a karmic equalizer. So Saturn will keep moving you in that direction. Saturn will point you toward that. Many times during the Saturn dashas and antardashas, you will find that some upheaval will come and it will push you towards the direction of your destiny. But many times we ignore that point and we don't want to go in the direction. We continue to chase the direction that we want to go. We ignore the pointer, the signs which a horoscope points. Sometimes we are without job for many months, sometimes years, but we want to do only that. We don't want to see what else we can do, what else energizes us. Many times we develop where our Bhrigu Bindu sits as hobbies, as a passion, but we don't want to follow that because we think, oh, that is my passion, that is not my work, that is not something which gives me a livelihood. So we don't want to do that. So I'm not saying just chase your passion, but ensure that you also contribute to where your Bhrigu Bindu is. Understand where your Bhrigu Bindu is. The pointers will be find where your Bhrigu Bindu is, see the connection with Rahu, or aspect it, or get connected to the Bhrigu Bindu Lord, or get connected to your Lagna Lord. Somewhere the connection will be established. I promise you that. And Saturn and Saturn and Jupiter will also be involved some way or the other. Ketu will be involved by giving you access to resources, but not for yourself, but for others. So for example, Ketu is the lord of my 5th house. My 5th house or sign, or 5th house sign is Scorpio. Ketu co-rules the sign of Scorpio and sits in the 2nd house. So 5th house is also the house of Dharma. So Dharma gets connected to 2nd house of earnings, Ketu. And I have some yogas also. For example, I have a Neech Bhanga Raj Yoga between Saturn and Mars sitting in Aries. Plus I have a Ruchak Panch Mahapurush Yoga. And I also have the Dharma Karma Adhipati Yoga. So Dharma Karma Adhipati Yoga means you make your dharma, your karma, and you earn through dharma, through spirituality. So you also, so this is the third thing you do. So first find where your Bhrigu Bindu is, then see the connection, which house, which direction it points you. So if Bhrigu Bindu is in the 2nd house, don't think that all your focus is on your family only. That's not how it is. See the connection with Rahu, see which direction it is pointing in. See the connection with Jupiter and Saturn, see the connection with the Lagna Lord, see where the depositor, where the Bhrigu Bindu sits. So if it is a Libra ascendant and your Bhrigu Bindu is in the 2nd house of Scorpio, then see where your Mars sits. So that is the second connection you see. So see where your Bhrigu Bindu is, see where the depositor of the Lagna Lord of the particular sign is sitting, not the Lagna Lord, the sign Lord of where the Bhrigu Bindu is sitting, and see whether there are what connection it is making with the Rahu. Then see what yogas you have, because the yogas help you point to and move in the direction of the Bhrigu Bindu. But what we do, we look at yogas that do I have a Raj Yoga, do I have a Lakshmi Yoga, and we look at yogas for riches, for material gains. Do I have a yoga for political power? So we are very ambitious. But we don't want to connect those yogas to our Bhrigu Bindu. Your yogas will be connected to your Bhrigu Bindu, and lot of your yogas are given to you to ensure that your destiny point is achieved. And that's why many of our Raj Yogas don't do anything for us, because we don't utilize them properly. So if you truly want to do well in life, to get your moksha corrected, to really live out the purpose of your life, to do what you are intended to come into this world for, to get peace of mind, to get real happiness, to leave a legacy behind, then find where your Bhrigu Bindu is. The distance between, the midpoint of the distance between Rahu and the moon. See the connections to where the Lord of the sign is sitting. See the connection to Rahu. see how the yogs, different yogs that you have get connected, and see what dashas it gets connected to, because during those dashas will give you the maximum opportunity to be able to fulfill that Bhrigu Bindu. So friends, please find your respective Bhrigu Bindus, find how it connects to your purpose of life through Rahu and the other connection that I talked about, and through yogas. And if you need any help from me in terms of understanding your purpose of life, where your Bhrigu Bindu is pointing, what destiny you have, where you need to do service, in which direction, then you can reach out to me to my email ID in the links given below. And please like this video, please subscribe to this channel, please press the bell icon so that you get to know when my new videos are coming. And please also share this video so that others also get to know what purpose of life they have, how to find their Bhrigu Bindu, and how to move ahead in life. And till we meet some other time, this is your friend astrologer signing off. Ciao.